Hello! Waiting for Instagram to connect me so I can I was out, just made myself a coffee. Hopefully this time I take time to drink it. The other day it just became cold because I was so passionate talking. Hello. Let's just gonna make myself comfortable for this life. So it's just like thinking a lot, and I'm like, oh, I just want to jump online. Hello, sister! Welcome, Chantal! My sister. Hello! How are you doing? So, yeah, I was thinking, receiving your love. So, I was talking and thinking to myself about this notion of radical self-acceptance. Hello! So, we hear it all the time, like love yourself and work on yourself to develop yourself and to love yourself deeper. But what does it actually mean? Because I see it, the things that I was thinking about for myself or for my clients and that I see all the time is like this challenge to accept different parts of yourself. Like, it's easy to accept the loving, super passionate, adventurous side of yourself, but the side that is more, I don't know, judgmental, or what can it be? I don't know, another side of yourself that might not be your favorite, and how to actually include it. Something that I also see a lot is that desire for, like, okay, let me take a moment to try to define it. When you have, a part of you that seems in opposition with another part. For example, for me, for a very long time, and I had this conversation this weekend with a friend. She was like, we haven't talked for a while, and she reached out to me and she was like, well, I don't understand who you're becoming. I don't understand what you're doing. You used to be that person that really didn't like to wear makeup, and now you're wearing makeup, and you were this hippie girl that, wanted to be super spiritual, and you didn't want like any money, and now you're talking about money. And she was like, yeah, you changed so much, because when I met you, you had this entrepreneur mindset, and you wanted to make shitloads of money, and then you become spiritual, and feeling like all of that is like in opposition somehow. What's your favorite number? 9. 9 is my favorite number. Okay. So going back to that, when you bring that glue, when you don't see yourself as scattered everywhere, and you really love every single aspect of yourself, and you don't try to fit into boxes. That's the thing. When you struggle and you're like, oh, I really want, okay, there is weird noise in my bathroom. There is something happening. If you saw my story today, like, I was Palo Santoing my bathroom because I'm feeling some kind of energy or presence or anything in my bathroom, and now there is weird noises of water. Don't mess with me, ghost. So, yeah, there's this thing of like, how can you just bring pure radical self-acceptance to yourself, where you accept every aspect of you, so you're not, because I see it all the time, and I used to be like this, of like, I love working on myself, I love investing in myself, I love digging deeper, I love doing the work, like, I'm passionate about this, I made it my fucking job, because so many things can shift in your life when you work on your mindset, when you work on yourself, when you work on your self-love, your self-acceptance, when you really unlearn everything that you have been taught, and you step into your own power, your own voice, I'm passionate about that. You know that. If you're here, you know that. But also there is something where sometimes you feel like you're doing it wrong, or that there is something wrong with you. And then it goes, and then you're like, okay, and you see that part, and you're like, okay, I have so much more work to do. And that's exciting because you want to work on yourself, because you love this discomfort, because you love to see your shadow, so you can alchemize it into becoming part of your light, part of like, oh yes, I used to be like this, and now I'm like that. And hello. But then you're like, okay, so there's always something to be worked on. So where is my radical self-acceptance? And that's the thing, when you actually accept yourself fully, when you accept even the dark things, let's say you're feeling shame. Like I have this a lot with shame. When I feel ashamed, I'm like resisting that feeling. I'm like, no, I don't want to go into that. I'm just resisting it and like trying to remove it. And when I'm like talking it out loud, like, you know what? I'm super ashamed to tell you that, but I don't know, whatever. I feel so much shame for what I feel. I feel so much shame for this. And you voice it and you give yourself permission to fully go in that shame and to be like, yeah. Or shame is more like a relationship to yourself. So it's more like, okay, I feel shame with myself. But what about judgments? You know, if you're here, we're a bit like, we pretend to be spiritual over here and to be open-minded and kind-hearted and everything. Hello, I love. I wanted to say hello in German, but I don't have it. I don't even remember how you say it in Dutch. Funny, whatever. I'm so happy that you joined. So yeah, radical self-acceptance. Like, let's say you feel judgmental, but you're like, this is not who I am. This is not who I am because I'm so kind and I'm so open-hearted, and then like, I'm a kind person. I believe in kindness. I want to change the world because I want to be kind. And then you feel that judgment coming up towards something or a situation or even yourself, and you're like, I shouldn't. Shouldn't. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. I've been there, you know. I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't feel that. I should do this, and I should be like that. But like, fuck that. You know, I love to swear a lot. Fuck that. Fuck that. So you can just be fully yourself. And when you feel insecure, when you feel judgmental, when you feel ashamed, when you feel like, just go all in into that. Be like, yep. Guten Tag. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, sister. I'm not sure about the accent though. So I bought this new milk because I used to drink my coffee with soy milk. That's my favorite. But lately I've been coughing after it. So I think that was the brand or something. So I wanted to change, and I have oat milk. And usually I love it, but now it tastes just weird. Here's my coffee, sorry. You know, embracing all parts of myself. It's like, it just gives you so much freedom to be like, okay, I'm like this, and I'm like this, I'm also like this, and I'm also like this. Oh, good. How does it feel to have like this, like, you know, everything is binding together, and you're like, I can be all of it. I can decide, and like, it helps me personally. I'm someone who really changes fast, and like every day will be a new person. Like, if you ask my friends, they're like, that's why we love you. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, I should be a little bit like more linear, so they know me a little bit and they're not so surprised that one day I think that and the next day I think that, and like, and then I just accept all of it, and I just accept that I'm going through different phases, that my perspective changes all the time. Let's go back to what I was sharing about makeup, for example. So when I was younger, like way younger, like I don't know, 10 years ago, I'm still feeling young. Like, I hate to speak about age, but a few years ago, I used to wear shitloads of makeup, like shitloads of makeup. Like I will do the whole contouring and fake lashes and then like full on makeup. And I couldn't go out even to put my bin out, my garbage out without makeup. And then I went to the opposite. I'm Libra, by the way. Yeah. I love blaming parts of my personality on my sign. I went like completely rejecting makeup. I was like, no, when you wear makeup, hello, Matthew. When you wear makeup, it's just you're trying to hide, yourself. Now I'm wearing makeup and filter. Hello, Oscar. So I was like, okay, like all natural, and like why would I put some nasty chemicals on my face? And like and I went into that radical self-acceptance of myself without makeup. And it was hard in the beginning. I was like, oh my god, I hate myself without makeup. But then I was like, I hate myself with makeup. So I went into this two opposition up until the point where now I'm like, and when my friend, she said that, she was like, you used to be like this, you used to hate makeup, and now you're wearing makeup, I don't get it. And I'm like, you don't see me. When I go to my bathroom, I'm Cleopatra. I'm like, I'm gonna, how do you say? Like put ornaments, but in forms of makeup. I don't know how you say that in English. But I'm gonna go all in. And because I accept all of it. I accept that some days I will be like this, no makeup, I don't care. And this makeup girl, because that's how I navigate my personality. And that's a silly example, but I'm sure you will avoid mirrors. Why are you saying that? To see my face? Or because of the ghost in the bathroom? Okay. Same with money. I think hello Claudia. So if you have been following me for a while, you know that I've been working on my money mindset big time, because I have so much unlearning to do, and I had this weird relationship with money. And they are both. Yeah, okay. Avoiding mirrors. And I love it when I come live, like at the beginning I can see myself and then my screen goes kind of black, so I don't really see me, which is nice also. Maybe you confused the two. Yeah, definitely. I also scared the ghosts. I'm there with my Palo Santo, like, bitches, it better not mess with me. Yeah, money mindset. And I used to think like, okay, like you either make money or you're spiritual. Or you make money or you're a happy, fulfilled person. But they don't go together. And I just saying that, I'm like, yes, I used to think that. Oh my fucking god. And now my belief is like the more money you make, the more spiritual. Like the more money you make, the more spiritual you are. No, that's not what I believe. I believe though that there's nothing more spiritual than making money, because you can actually support what you believe in. You can support yourself, your growth. You can share your wisdom with more people. You can invest in communities and locals and invest in causes that really matter to you. So basically, if you're a good person, you will be even more of a good person with money. And if you're a bad person, you will be even more of a bad person. And I love this example of, it's Manifestation Babe, Katrin Zinkina. She says something all the time in her podcast about the knife. Like, the knife can be used to cook the most delicious meal ever, or the knife can be used to kill someone. But are you blaming the knife? No. Bang, bang, go away, ghost. You are not the host. Yeah. 100%. There's this ghost situation in my bathroom. Okay. But it's fine. I can talk about it because it's daytime. Drop the mic. So, radical self-acceptance is accepting your own changes as well. Accepting that you're going to change. that your perspective is going to change as well. I know that there is something very uncomfortable into radically changing your point of view, especially if you were really engaged in one cause. Like when I say engaged, like I say emotionally engaged, like a lot of your, like it was a deep belief of yours and you were standing on that, and it can be super hard to let it go, super hard to be like, okay, that was a part of myself, but it's not in alignment with who I'm becoming or who I am at the present moment. And so I know it can be challenging to go through that, especially when you spend a lot of time surrounded by friends or family or colleagues or just people that reflect that back at you. Let's say I had one friend, she was really, really, really engaged into everything feminist and social justice, but like passionate. And she saw everything around through that spectrum of feminism. And I'm a big feminist as well. I can be very triggered on those subjects. But she used to be really radical, and she changed her point of view, she changed her position. And it was hard for her to be like, oh yeah, like, you know, to be like, oh yeah, that's who I used to be, and I used to believe that, but I don't now. And she struggled to navigate that. She was like, oh, just, I feel a bit ashamed now to have changed because I was so strong in what I believed back then, and people know me that way. And what if I change now? Or yeah, other example. There's this thing, oh my god, yes. There's this thing about veganism. So I had a friend that was 100% vegan, and she was like, you know, talking vegan thing all the time and just trying to convince everyone. And purging. And then she stopped being vegan and she went back to eating meat. And then she felt like out of integrity with herself and what, like, the value that she used to preach. And it create that, then you're like, oh, but I'm not congruent anymore. I don't have those pieces of myself and my personality going together, and I need to prove myself. And we're going back to that. We're going back to like trying to prove yourself. The thing is, if you stand from a point of view of like, people love me no matter what, people accept me no matter what, I'm perfect the way I am, even if I'm changing, and I allow myself to change, I allow myself to question my own beliefs, I allow myself to have this space and this this space to change and evolve and change the way you see life and be and bring people into your world. Like, hey, come into my world, come and see how I change, and like, look at this thing, oh my god, that's so beautiful, look at this is so interesting. And then the next day being like, oh, I can also look at it this way, and that's interesting as well. So I think radical self-acceptance, radical self-love come from that first accepting who you are right now. Oh, it's just birds. and not trying to change, like, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You have the right to be everything that you desire. And there is no need to really work on yourself. That's a big one. Like, there's no need. No need to become a better person. No need to change who you are. No need to let go of some stuff. Because it's actually a desire. Like, you want to work on yourself. You want to look beyond, like, the veil, you know, and see through your own shit, through your own shadow, and through, but it's a desire, it's not a need. You don't need, you're perfect the way you are. And this just shift in perspective changes everything, because then you're so good with yourself and you're like, oh, I can be this and I can be that and I can be that tomorrow. And I have freedom and I have a space to change and flow. And everything in nature changes all the time, right? There is nothing still in the universe, in this planet, in anything. The only thing that never changes is the fact that everything changes. So give you that to yourself, because I'm sure you felt it, and I felt it for so long of like, oh, I decided to become this person, so now I'm gonna stick to it. And it's become so much like structured, like so much like I don't have space to be myself because I'm trying to put myself in a fucking box, and we are not meant to be in a fucking box. You, me, we're not meant to be in boxes. We're meant to overflow. Yeah, you feel that? To overflow and to decide who, and to reinvent ourselves every single day, even if it confuses people, even if it triggers people. That's okay. That's okay. I give you permission. Drop the mic. Yeah. I'm so passionate about this because I've been through it, because I've been through that shit of feeling so constrained. Evolution is the meaning of life. Hell yes, yes, amen to that. Evolution is the meaning of life. We're always evolving, always changing, always flowing, always like, yeah, we're learning every day. We're learning and learning, moving, flowing, grooving. Yeah. So yeah. That's so exciting. That's so exciting. So how can we create just more space to that in our lives? And how can we expand our consciousness to what is actually possible? To have more of that spaciousness to be everything that we want to be. To move through that. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to share anything that I can react to? I feel like I just want to talk. I just want to have a conversation. Radical self-acceptance. Radical self-acceptance. What else do I want to share around that? There's something about people pleasing that is coming up as well. Because the things that I teach people, the thing that I support people in, is everything that I struggle myself. Accepting myself is an everyday journey, but I think I'm pretty good right now. Like, I love myself so much that, you know, sometimes I just watch my own stories and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so cool. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud. I came from long, you know, like far, the road, like whatever. I cannot speak English anymore. Hello. Like I when I look back, I'm like, wow. I remember the first day that I look a replay of one of my first women's circle. If it's not the first, I think it was the second one. And I watched the replay, just a part of the replay, and I see myself in front of the camera dancing like crazy. Hey! And I'm like dancing and like just being wild and crazy in front of the camera. And I look that replay and I take a moment back and I'm like, wow, I am everything that I always dreamed of being. I'm going to eat, enjoy your... I was about to say lunch, but at this time it's just enjoy your food. Enjoy whatever you're gonna put in your body, sister. XOXO, gossip girl. So, I lost lunch. Yes, lunch at 3:30. Who created the rule? Pasta. Yeah, love it. For a change, I'm so surprised. Are you eating pasta? Oh my god, that should be the first time in your life, isn't it? It's my sister, and she's like literally eating pasta for every meal. I don't know how she does that. And she must have some Italian blood or something. So yeah, I was about to say, like, when I see myself, I'm like, wow, like I cannot believe it. Like, that sounds so silly now. Like, now I feel myself dancing all the time, and I don't film the most crazy parts when I'm like naked and doing those like shamanic incantation kind of dance, but just because it's against the guidelines of Instagram, that's the only reason I'm not filming that. But it sounds so silly because you're like, yeah, you're just dancing, like that's so normal. But for me, it was like, I was just trying to be in so many boxes, and I was like, I don't fit in any boxes. Like, you know, and then I fell in love with a woman. I was like, oh, a new box of being a lesbian. And then, you know, I felt also that I was not fitting in the box. So I spent my whole life everywhere, in every situation, in every group of people, everything that I saw outside myself, trying to fit in one box. And every time I was like, I never fit in. And I feel terrible, and I feel homeless, and I feel like I don't belong. And that was super hard. I felt so lonely. Felt so fucking lonely. Until I was like, I'm actually a leader. I am meant to lead. First myself. So I don't have to be in a box. I don't have to fit in a box. And I just get to do what feels good to me, explore my own self, because we are so like, oh, we are so juicy creatures as humans. Like, we can do so many cool stuff, and we can change, and we can shape shift, and we can play. And I started, you know, playing with my appearance. I'm going to the hairdresser tomorrow. Cannot wait. Just playing with my appearance, playing with the way I dress, playing with the way I talk, playing with the way I show up. Like, sometimes I'm like crying, sometimes I'm in like this very soft part of myself, sometimes I'm like crazy messy, sometimes I'm in a mix of everything. I just don't know even how to describe it, because there is no need to describe it, because you just get to be whatever come through you in the moment. And you get to be seen. Like, that's a big part of my life right now, is like allowing myself to be seen in all those aspects. Because now that I've accepted them for myself, it's time to show it to the world. Because when you actually do that, you're inviting other people to accept all those different aspects of themselves, and to put some like magic link. Like, I would say, I know a lot of my clients, they always talk about like, I feel like so separated. I feel like I want this, and it just doesn't go together. And I look at them and I'm like, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? I remember it was a big theme with one of my ex-partner. He wanted to be a president. He wanted to be the president and work in politics and stuff, but he also desired to live in the forest and, you know, have his chickens and stuff like this. And it was a big source of suffering for him, because for a long time he couldn't see how the two can blend together, because it was not the outside things, right? It was more on the inner conflict of those different values and beliefs. And then it was just so beautiful how he completely integrated that to his self, of like, no, that's who I am, and I get to be all of it. Same, you know, like if you saw my story of today, like just like, you know, I was listening to a rap song, and like also like I was at, okay, it's just once again. I was invited to stay a little bit in the south of France, about, I don't know, a month and a half ago or something, and I was at my friend's house, and we were having so much fun. It was so nice. And in the morning, you know, I did my yoga, but I had my playlist on, and I was listening to rap song and like Jul for the French one, that are here dancing on bande organisée and shit like this. Not dancing, but actually doing yoga. And they're like, okay, that's the first time I saw that. And I'm like, yes, I love this strategy. Why not? Why not? Why not? Or as I shared in my story, being in my room and, you know, feeling the situation in the bathroom, and be like, okay, I need to just like remove those energies. There is an energy that I feel that is not good, like lower vibration energy. So I'm just gonna go and Palo Santo. But I was actually dancing, and I was like listening to rap song and being my badass self, and like, you know, like, don't fuck with me. So I went with my Palo Santo, and I was like grooving and like, don't fucking mess with me, ghosts. Because I get to be all of it. And it just feels so good because, you know, in the past I will be like, oh, yes, I love to come into my highest self, and like fairies and butterflies, and like, oh my God, I love it. And like, I'm so connected. I'm gonna pray, and I'm gonna, yes, I'm that. In the morning, if you see me, I'm in this soft, gentle, really devotional, really spiritual. Don't really like that label though, but I'm in that mood, you know. I'm in prayer. I'm like really kind and soft and gentle, and like I'm a little baby, a little flower, and I see magic everywhere. But then I'm here on my life, and I'm like, all of this, because I get to be all of this. And for a long time it was not like this. So that's my little chit chat that I wanted to share today, is radical self-acceptance. You get to be all of it, and you get to have space to change and flow, and what it is from yesterday, and you get to live in the now. What do you decide to be? Who do you want to be? You get to be all of it. You get to be a leader. And for me, I had this talk in my last women's circle. For a long time I was like, I'm not a leader. Like, I don't have what it takes. Me? No. Because my vision, my perspective, the lens through which I was seeing a leader and what it means to be a leader was like this, you know, CEO of Coca-Cola or L'Oreal or whatever big companies. And I'm like, this is a leader, you know, that's the guy in a suit that walks into a room and like everyone is listening, and you know, that's a leader. But then I realized how do you say, narrow my perspective was, because I don't know, like there were great leaders in this planet that were not like this. Like, I don't know, just thinking about Martin Luther King. I don't know how you pronounce that. He was a great leader, and he has nothing to do with a guy in a suit, CEO of Coca-Cola. Who else is a leader right now? I have so many leaders around me. The coach that I invest in, they are leaders. And I get to be a leader too. And being a leader to me now, from, again, just from my own lens and my perspective, it's just that you get to decide, you get to forge your path, not follow. And that's, I think, what is confusing for many, I want to say starseed here, I don't know why, but that's what came through. That's what is confusing for some starseed, to be like, I'm trying this and I'm getting super passionate about what this person is sharing, or this path, or this tradition, or this box or label, and it feels so good for a time. But then I realize that I'm multi-passionate. I realize that I don't fit in that box, and we don't have a road that is already made for us. We don't have someone who told us like this is how it gets to be, just follow that. I mean, there is a lot of people that are just here to follow, and that's okay. We need everyone. It's not from a judgmental point of view. It's just that for me, for a long time, I was like, I don't have what it takes. I'm not a fucking leader. Like, me? Hell no. But now I'm hell yes, of course. Because I've tried. I was really good, So I'm creating this new offer. And my previous offer, it was really a reflection of who I was, which means that I take I take in the yogic tradition, I take in Kundalini and Tantra, and I use Reiki, and I use Woman Circle community, and I mix all of those traditions and beliefs and mindset and spirituality, and I take everything and I make it my own. That's a gift. I can really easily do that, and I love doing this because then I mix it and it becomes something that is pretty cool because it's me and people love to work with me. But now I completely shifted into what I get to do is actually share my own medicine and not take from things that I know. Of course, there is this imprint, there is this presence because this is, I've learned that. I've been through those traditions. I've experienced this. I took trainings onto it. But it's like, now I get to decide. Now I get to decide how I share. And this new offer, it is really requiring me to be in my leader position. I'm like, hey, I know that I have some answers and some way of doing things, and I want to share it, not following something that I've learned. So I had to unlearn a lot because I've been in so many containers. I worked with so many mentors and coach and just like worked on myself, my mindset, my spirituality, my self-development, all of that. So I had to unlearn a lot of that and be like, hey, what is here? What is it that is my own medicine, my gift that I've always had and that now I get to share with the world? And it's not a mix of everything that I take outside and then I transform it and make it myself, which is already beautiful. But it's really different. It's really unique. It's me. And by me tapping into that, I'm a leader and I inspire other people to do the same. So you're not becoming a fake copy of what you are, of what you see, of what you ingest or become, and you're actually just stepping into your uniqueness. What is making you so special? And you're unraveling so you become to the core of your being, of who you are. So I used to use the term a lot, like your higher self, and I still use it, but in that I feel like people, they put it like there's the higher self, there's the future self, there is something like that is either in the future or better than you or so inaccessible. But the thing is, the work that I do working with me is actually coming back to who you are. So there is a deep transformation, but you're not transforming into something better or something. You're just becoming so much more of yourself that there is no more limitation. Because when you're fully in your power, what is unique to you, what is at the core of yourself, first of all, it's not easy to access because there is so much conditioning and so much learning and so much also reassuring and safety and and working on every fucking aspect of yourself, because sometimes we get to work on mindset. Sometimes we get to work on the body. It's a big one. The body holds all the secrets, this is the gateway. The body is the gateway to your truth. Your body always knows the truth. But there is also mindset and perspective changes. And there is also, connecting, activating your energy, your chakras, aligning all of that. And I worked on all those aspects because if you really want to do the work, again, don't really like that term, but we are flowing with that, you get to work on all those aspects. You cannot just have one. For me, like transformation and going back to that core essence of yourself, it has to be on all those aspects because there is different dynamics and blockages in different aspects of you. And coming back to the core of who you are, Like, really? Like, what is it? What is it without the learning? What is it without what I think I should be doing? What is it without all those influences of the books that I've read, of the podcasts, of the people that I follow, of the people that I have around me? Who am I? Who am I at the core? Me. What is so special and unique about me? Because again, and I love to use this imagery of like, you're a piece of a beautiful puzzle of humanity. You cannot copy or be copied. You are so special and unique. And if you're here for a reason, of course. Like, you are not just a mistake, right? So what is so unique about you that you can apply it in every level of your life? So people, they often think, and I feel like this is the case in the coaching industry and everything, like, okay, you take a coach because you want to be like an entrepreneur and you want to, remote work and have this Bali lifestyle and stuff like this. But how can you be more yourself in your day to day, in what you already do? How can you have no limitation because you're so aligned with your purpose and your mission? And again, like, I had this talk with a friend lately about, this dharma. Find your dharma, find your path, find your purpose. I work with my clients on finding their own unique path and their dharma and everything. But the thing is, it's not really find. It's not something you find outside yourself. I mean, no, that's not the vocabulary that I want to use, because it's something you uncover. It's something that you have. It's something that is already present. So that's why I also love to share about, you are the medicine. It's just like, get this image. Your body heals itself. If you work with mentors or coach, they are just like, how can I call it? Like a medicine okay. Let me gather my thought. It's just they don't do anything. Even a healer doesn't do, like, if I have a deep healing session with someone, I am not healing them. They're healing themselves. You just open up. We live in a world of distraction and noise. Hell yes. When you do the work, I think that's just listening to the vibration and frequency of your spirit, listening to the off notes we've picked in the world. Oh my God, yes. So beautiful the way you said it. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. We live in a world of distraction and noise. I'm just reading it again. When we do the work, love it. I think that's just listening to the vibration and frequency of your spirit. 100%, 100%. How does it taste? How does it taste, that vibration of your spirit? How does it feel like to be connected with that vibration? It feels so good. It feels so expensive. You're not gonna always feel good because, again, there is a lot of things to move through, but that's also part of the journey, right? And it's just so beautiful, like, to taste your own frequency, to taste your own unique note. Ooh, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's all so juicy, so juicy. So yeah. What else? There is just so much to be said on those subjects. So of course I will come back live and share more around those topics, because it's so interesting. And that's the work that I do. That's the offer that I'm creating right now. I'm in the process of birthing something that is so juicy and so me. And I was talking about it with a friend, and I was like, I'm a coach. I prefer mentor now. It feels more better. I'm also an intuitive healer, and I'm also like an activator. I'm also all those things. It's hard to put a label on myself because I don't fucking want to be in a box. And I'm like, what I'm creating right now, it's not the regular like coaching program. And I told her, I'm like, coaching program, just saying it out loud just make me feel sick, because that's not a fucking coaching program. First of all, that's more like a mentorship, a support, a guidance, an activation, a magic, like that's literally, we work with magic. because this world is magic, and I'm being so open to new things and magics right now. But also, program. It just sounds really bad, isn't it? Because we already have so much unprogramming to do. Like, so many people programmed us, like the school, the media. I felt also that a lot of starseed we were born and spread all over the planet, and it's most likely that, and I see it every day on my inbox, in my DMs. I have people telling me the same exact thing. Like, I feel so alone. I have no one around me that I can really connect and talk about those things. And I was the same for a long time. Now I'm surrounded by like cool people and spiritual people. Again, I hate the term, but like, I want to say just starseed and like people that have a deeper, just they vibe on the same frequency and vibration. But I feel like we have been put on this planet to do the work and alchemize a lot of things to move through. So of course we are in environments where sometimes it feels very lonely and we don't have anybody that really understands us. And I know it can be a lonely journey and quite a hard like things. And that's why I love what I do. And in that new mentorship, I also have a part of like, yeah, let's connect as a community. Let's exchange, let's connect, like see what happened when we actually connect. Magic happens. The English here. There is just so much magic when you come in a space and you share your lenses. Like, show me how you see the world. I want to see. I'm curious because I only see them through my eyes, and it's already wonderful. Let me show you my world, and please show me your world. So you expand again, you have more space because you expand that field of consciousness, and it's so beautiful. And again, I don't want to be creating another coaching program. Like, it sounds so boring, isn't it? And I do believe that we are, shifting into the new earth, the new paradigm, or however you want to call it. And we get to be leaders of ourselves and of the world. So forging, not following. That's the vibe. That's the vibe of what I'm creating, and I'm pouring, oh my God, all my intentions and all my love. Program is just packaging of society. I think you're picking up on how it carries a heavy energy and a possessiveness and powerlessness. The need to be a better world that gives us back power. Yes. Yeah, it's a heavy energy for sure. And like, we get to be the change, right? We get to be that unprogramming and that, like, again, expansiveness. Like, how can we expand? How can we come together as a community? How can you show me your lenses and I share mine, and together we build that world instead of being in separation, instead of being in like, oh, I'm right and you're wrong. Like, there's so much of that, and I used to be I saw something. I used to be in that paradigm a lot, especially at the beginning of my awakening, at the beginning of my spiritual journey. I was like, no, but now I get it. Now I have the truth. Lol. I do believe that there are as many truths as there are individuals, because reality is just a reflection of what's going on inside. So there's not such a thing as the one reality or the truth with capital T. And even when you get to know that, then you're like, oh, but I get the truth. Like, still, like, I'm right and I know better. I used to be in that, how do they call it? Like the spiritual ego or something? Again, new labels, don't really resonate with all of that, but I used to be like that a lot. Adria, hey! So nice to see you here. I used to be in that paradigm a lot. Like, oh no, they're wrong and I know better. I have all the answers now. I'm so awake and I'm so spiritual. I'm so woke. And then, but that's also part of the journey, you know. Then you also unprogram yourself from what you've been programming yourself. That's really powerful. That's really good. Okay. I think that was a long life, but I had so much fun and I've talked about so many things that I'm so passionate about, sharing my lenses, my vision of the world, sharing also a little bit more about the juiciness that is happening behind the scene at the moment, so that, you know, maybe there is some activation here, some activation of like, oh yeah, that sounds juicy, that's the type of mentorship that I want, that's the type of support that I want, that's the type of guidance. Yes, so wonderful to have you. I'm so deeply honored, and like, let me take a moment to really feel into that. Like, I'm so grateful, like so grateful for sharing that space with you here, with all of you that hop on and off, the one that will see the replay. So deeply grateful if we aren't connected in this moment together, connecting your energy and my energy. I feel so blessed and so honored. Thank you. I love you. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your day.